If you're looking to provide your students with choice while offering opportunity for rigorous inquiry, this workshop is for you. If you click on the link that leads you there, we have our presentation and our literary journals graphic organizer if you would want to use that in your classroom, and I'll explain that more as we get into the presentation. So our presentation starts with just who we are. We both work at South High School. We are freshman teachers. We teach both pre-AP, mid, and core. The purpose behind the process was we wanted our students to read more. We wanted to model what real life reading looks like, and we also wanted to give our students more choice in their pick. And then lastly, we wanted to make sure that we were incorporating some type of nonfiction into their reading. The assignment the assignment sheet is there for you if you want to take a peek at that link. It will take you to the Google Doc that we created for our students. So the first thing the students had to do was pick a novel. We took our students down to our library, and Mary Beth Haas, our librarian at South High School, did a great job of picking out books for our students that would be high interest. She also gave some book talks on different books that she thought would be good picks for our freshmen. There was a variety of book titles, so ranging from all different genres. And then we created a Google form or a Google spreadsheet that also was a good organization tool to list our students' names, their book that they chose, and then also the question that they would be eventually researching later on in the project. As the students were reading, they created example journals. As you can see here, the first two parts of the journal, one was literary terms and the second part was vocabulary. So for the literary terms, they would find a literary device, they'd find a quote from the novel that showed that device, and then they would explain what that device did to help move the novel along, or the nonfiction piece. The second part was the vocabulary, where they picked a vocabulary word that they may not have known or one that was a higher level or higher word. And they defined that and they broke the word apart, creating an image to really show their understanding of that definition. The last two parts, one was a questioning, where as the students read, we asked them to just jot down as many questions as they could that came up as they were reading the nonfiction piece. And then the last part was the responses. So in class, students would be given a journal prompt and they would respond to that depending on the day. The prompt changed. Here's an excerpt from the Glass Castle if you want to try this on your own. There is a link down there to click on to get to the excerpt. We also created a graphic organizer that you could use. It's a sample journal. All students filled out a journal, but to save time, we created the graphic organizer for the presentation. This could also be used in your classroom as well. And then we have a list of some response prompts that we used for students to respond to in their journals. The other thing we wanted to make sure we included on with this project was collaboration. Students got into concentric circles where we had an inner circle and an outer circle. And you would talk to the person next or across from you, and then we would have the students switch and they would talk to somebody else within the circle. So whether the inner circle moved or the outer circle moved, just making sure that students were switching partners and having discussions about their novels or nonfiction reads, no matter if they read the same novel or not, they were still able to have those discussions. Lastly, the students created their final project, and that started out with one researching one of the questions that they found as they were reading their novel. So they had to research, take notes, and create a works cited page. And then they also had to create some final presentation. So there's a handout there that describes the project. We also show the organization again with that Google spreadsheet, once again stating the book, the question that they chose, and then what type of project they wanted to create. And then also a checklist for students to use as they were walking through the process. The final piece was the gallery walk where students presented their project. We gave a reflection sheet to put out in front of each presentation, and as students walked around, they were encouraged to write positive comments about what their classmates did well or ask a question about the project that they might still have had. Also, students were able to justify a grade, so they could choose what grade they thought they deserved and then explain why they believed that was the grade that they deserved. This video just shows our gallery walk. You can look at that and see the different students and how they're engaged and interacting with each other. There's also some pictures here that show students either on technology or in front of their 3D models sharing the nonfiction piece that they read. Here are also some student samples. So like we said, the 3D model was in the picture, but there's an example website or a couple example websites there for you to look at, Google Slides, and also a works cited page. As teachers, we reflected on this and we really loved this activity. It allowed students to have those authentic discussions and share information. It also was a great way to bring in student choice with the text and have them research, which is something that we need to do with our freshmen. Some things that we considered or would consider doing differently next year: allowing more time for the unit. Students in the reflection kept saying that over and over again, that they wish they had more time. They wish they had more time to do the research because they really enjoyed looking up that information. And also just exploring wider audiences. So maybe bringing in more people to the gallery walk. Who else could we invite to showcase what our students have accomplished? So we're really hoping that teachers are going to take this into their own classroom, give students choice with the nonfiction piece, and share out their own and also provide that inquiry. So here's some questions that we created to get you kind of thinking of where you could start this in your own classroom. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact either myself or Gretchen Agner. We're both at South High School. We both really enjoyed working with the students on this project, and it's something that we saw awesome results for. So email us if you have any questions, and thanks for listening.